The Boiling Frog in the Pot, The Slow Extermination Strategy of White People in South Africa by Cyril Ramaphosa. The left and the mainstream media are the pot and lid convincing the masses that white people, the frog, are overreacting, that there is no cause for concern, and that white people are in fact the racists, murderers, and oppressors, in an attempt to prevent the frog from escaping and keeping the frog in a perpetual cycle of white guilt, and how all the bad things that are happening to the frog are justified because the frog is to blame. The ANC is the stove, fueled by communist, Marxist, and tribal hatred, resulting in a warped sense of justice. They seek to ethnically cleanse the land from these umlungu or sea scum. The ANC will pander to the mainstream media and left because the left and mainstream media has predetermined the ANC and black people are the victims and the frog is the enemy. The dial on the stove that adjusts the temperature is racist laws, policies, songs, and rhetoric designed to oppress, marginalize, victimize, and promote hate toward the frog from the masses. Social influencers and experts from academia further solidify the hate-filled narrative by concocting falsified studies to dehumanize the frog and to justify the oppression imposed on the frog as a way for the masses to have a clear conscience should they want to do or say anything to the frog that under normal circumstances would be considered hate speech or a crime. The water is the effect that these three elements, the stove, the temperature dial, and the pot and lid have on the frog, mentally and physically. Whether the frog is aware or not is inconsequential. Some of the frogs will pretend it's not real, carry on swimming in the pot, and attempt to enjoy the rising temperature of the water. Que sera, sera, is what they would say. Other frogs have sided with the stove, the pot and lid, and the temperature dial in an attempt to escape. Cozying up to them will surely help me escape the hot water, they say. What does it matter if I'm promoting the oppression of my fellow frogs? You can't make a cake without breaking a few eggs. Then there are the frogs that are aware of the situation. They have seen the writing on the wall and can perceive the insidious game that is being played behind the fork-tongued doublespeak. Some may escape, some may not, but they know there are now other frogs in ponds all around the world watching. The truth is coming out. The pot and lid and stove cannot pretend forever. To the fellow frogs out there, defend your pond.
After the meeting that we had on Wednesday between President Trump and Ramaphosa, South Africa mainstream media herald Ramaphosa as a hero.
A bastion of justice and equality.
Corruption, lies, everything bad is Ramaphosa. And in South Africa, it is no joke being white or being black, still stuck in empty townships.
That's right.
Hanging on to this utopia of I'm going to get a free house, free schooling, free hospitalization, free everything.
Empty promises. Empty promises.
And they will still vote for them.
For the past 31 years.
Because the lie that's been going around since 1994 has been, if the white person gets back into power, we are going to take out all our revenge onto them. We have moved past it, and they haven't. And I have, in the last couple of months, years, depending which one, I've actually found a few YouTube channels by blacks and whites that if they speak out, they get threatened.
Yeah, threatened, cancelled because it doesn't fit the mainstream narrative and it's anti the agenda.
Yeah. And when are we as just normal people going to wake up and stop listening to the lies? Oh, happy days. Okay, so it's been, for me personally, it's been a very, very stressful week.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of stressy stuff happening.
Yeah.
But in light of everything, it is fantastic that it's coming out.
Oh, yes. It needed to.
And hats off to President Trump, because
Respect.
I don't think there would be another president that would ever bring this to light.
And why on earth Ramaphosa decided to actually take Ernie, Ellsworth and
Retief Goosen, and at least, Retief Goosen, spoke somewhat of the truth. At least he was...
Yeah. But you are speaking to people that don't really live here anymore.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're overseas.
Yeah.
In an attempt to pander to Trump's golf enthusiasm, he's going to, use them as a kind of justification and a kind of, hey, look, it's all good. I've got your little golfy friends that enjoy golf as well, just as much as you. They'll tell you the truth, It's not that bad. We can all get along.
I find that so manipulative.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose in a sense it's a smart move from Ramaphosa because, the ANC's got a lot to lose should too many people take up the refugee offer, let's put it that way. South Africa's economy is in a bad state now. I can only foresee it going far, far worse should enough people decide to say, okay, bye.
Yeah, and I have got what you call liberal fatigue.
Yeah, that's considering black fatigue is a thing now, liberal fatigue is, I think, on the heels, yes.
For the plain and simple reason is that they can see what is happening. Now, I'm speaking about the anti-liberals here. They can see what is happening. They can see what is going to happen after. And they will still push it. As for the anti-liberals overseas, shut up. Plain and simple. Or, okay, come here.
Come here and see, yeah. Don't sit in an air-conditioned studio there in America or the UK and say whatever you want to keep the ratings up on your woke mainstream media. Come see.
Yeah. And you will quickly learn that it's not that it is not paradise.
And you can listen to all the people in their fancy little gated communities and all that kind of stuff spouting out, oh, it's not, there's no white genocide and da 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 da. Nobody said there was a white genocide to begin with. You know, and people, you know, I suppose President Trump misspoke a little bit when he said there was a white genocide.
But we're not going to split hairs.
If you look at the writing on the wall and you look at the 10 steps to genocide, we did a video about it. People can go check it out. A lot of steps are being fulfilled.
Yeah.
A lot.
I reckon now, from the time that we made it, which was a couple of weeks ago, till now, which we said we are about 7.5, we are now 8.
I would say, yeah, 7, 8 would definitely tick 7 or 8 of those boxes for sure. For sure. The difference is, you know, people want to see, people are sick. People want to see the bodies. That's basically what it comes down to. They need to see enough slaughter before they'll do anything. And then again, that's even if they want to do anything. The US and the UK knew about what was happening in Germany with the Jews in World War II. They chose to be quiet.
And
they chose to do nothing.
And even after when the Yankees landed in Germany and found all those camps, and they actually fetched, Germans to go and show them. We didn't know. You're lying.
Unfortunately, it's a part of human nature, part of fallen, sinful man. We have a proclivity to not want to do anything because of laziness and cowardice and all these kind of things. I get it. It's within all of us. But it's something that has to be resisted, not entertained. And unfortunately, there's too many people these days that once again sit in their air-conditioned, gated community, fancy lifestyles. Because it's not affecting me, they say, it must not be real. Because it's not affecting my world, it's not affecting the entire world. Selfishness.
Yeah. And it's a fact, the Africans, the black Africans' life was 3 times better than now. We, built them hospitals, schools, houses. And I am actually at the point where it's like, really? I am past talking.
And even the older generation of black people, they would say it was better. Again, nobody's saying it was perfect. You're not going to find perfection in a fallen world. But things can be better or worse. And yes, for sure, apartheid could have been improved on further.
Vastly,
but
yes.
it was better.
We're
not saying best.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. Oh, and one more thing I just want to bring up. In South Africa, we have this wonderful word, gatful, of white people and blacks saying, particularly liberals, all the white people were rich.
Liberal fatigue, eh?
I grew up not far from where I am right now. There were no rich people around. We really had, hardly any food or, clothes. And I'll be happy to share it, what my whole childhood was like, but as far as I'm concerned, it's past. But there were lots of white residential places where the people were dirt poor.
Like, again, poverty is, in a sense, part of the Bible as well. Jesus says himself, there's always going to be the poor among you.
Yes, always.
The thing is, you need to create a society. This is why don't talk to me about God putting people in leadership. People put people in leadership. It's called voting. But regardless, that's a different topic. The point is, there's going to be poverty forever. It's not God's will for people to be poor. The thing is, if you're electing people that continually have bad policies that are designed to oppress and make prosperity a very difficult thing, that's what's going to happen. Prosperity is going to become a difficult thing. Yet somehow the left loves the fact and loves the idea of big governments that oppress people. Because you can go ahead and scream socialism all you want. Socialism is simply a small communism Marxism. And it's never ever worked.
Yeah, and I cannot understand why people do not do research. We are now at a time where there is every single thing out there, and all we have to do is until you ask questions. And the other day I was having a look on my phone, and there was this liberal young lady that is still convinced that 78% of the land in South Africa is actually owned by the white people.
I've heard those stats, yes.
It is actually 22%. And it's that kind of person that, as much as they really anger me, I cannot have them around me.
Let's quickly give some receipts. Because people are clearly going to say, oh, you're overreacting. You're one of those frogs that are overreacting. So this is a news article. I think this one was published 2017. This is in relation to the frog analogy that the illustrious president now of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, said. So yeah, let's pick it up here. The civil rights organization AfriForum wrote an open letter to Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa in which the organization asked for clarification on the following statement attributed to him by the late Dr. Mario Oriani Ambrosini in the latter's memoirs. This is obviously a quote from the memoirs. In his brutal honesty, Ramaphosa told me of the ANC's 25-year strategy to deal with the whites. It would be like boiling a frog alive, which is done by raising the temperature very slowly. Being cold-blooded, the frog does not notice the slow temperature increase, but if the temperature is raised suddenly, the frog will jump out of the water. He meant that the black majority would pass laws transferring wealth, tick, land, tick, and economic power, tick, from whites to black, slowly and incrementally, tick, until the whites lost all they had gained in South Africa, but without taking too much from them at any given time to cause them to rebel or fight. Yes, there's a receipt.
And I did a bit of research, and Ramaphosa, I'm sure it's more now, is worth 670 million. So where is him, sharing his wealth?
Oh no. So with all the rhetoric that is coming out of this man's mouth, Malema, all the kill the boer and all that kind of stuff that's going on in social media, finally, he's been saying this for decades, but it's only coming to light now, but at least it's coming to light. People would go ahead and say, oh, but, Ramaphosa's against all this stuff. Ramaphosa, he's not aligned with Julius Malema. That might be true in terms of what mainstream media says, but in 2018, in light of what we know about Cyril Ramaphosa's plan with the boiling frog analogy, Ramaphosa here in 2018, this news article is talking about Ramaphosa wanting Julius Malema to come back under the wing of the illustrious communist ANC party. He sees great benefit for the once youth leader of the ANC, Julius Malema, to once again come back under the wing. So this article can be found at Sowetan Live, once again showing that Cyril Ramaphosa is in fact in favor of these kind of things that Julius Malema is saying, even though mainstream media and he himself will obviously say otherwise, to keep everything, seeming okay on the surface to the globe.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that Julius wants to be the chief in charge.
Yes, and I suppose that's where the only rub is.
Yeah.
Because you've got one commie dictator leader wanting to be king, but then you've got another one that's also wanting to be king.
Yeah, and it's like small children with small minds, they cannot build anything, and they all want to be king of the castle, and they will destroy the castle. They will destroy everything.
Yeah, they'll destroy
just to get what they want.
They'll destroy the people within the castle, and it will be like a Game of Thrones mentality with Daenerys Targaryen, who is ruling over a graveyard.
Yeah, and they'll be so proud of it.
A lot of people have been disputing Trump's claims, and to be fair, how he misspoke, I suppose, regarding the video that he showed at the White House this week with the white crosses on either side of the road. I've heard speculation online, oh, that's not in South Africa, that's in the Congo, this is not a real actual thing. Regardless, be that as it may, even if that was falsified or whatever the claims are, and I can prove that that's not, but let's just go ahead and leave that one aside. The left and the ANC and all the woke media and all those sorts of things have got a big problem here. You can Google this yourself. Witkruis Monument.
Which means White
Cross Monument. Yeah. And the plaasmoorde, which is farm murders. This is a monument that has been erected in June 16, 2004. Since June 16, 2004, there is 3,000 plus white crosses.
And also, all of those white crosses happens to be a picture and the age of the person and when they were killed.
Yeah. So a lot of people online were saying, oh, but each cross doesn't represent one person. It was just representative of the fact that there are farm murders. Be that as it may, in that video, you can Google this one now if you want and go check it out. Here, each cross represents a farmer.
And also, let us actually connect the dots. Before 1994, how many farmers were there in South Africa? How many farmers are there now? Common sense, which is sorely lacking nowadays.
Yeah, and I think all this boils down to people really just need to do their own research. I understand the liberal mentality when it comes to they are convinced, and I think this is really one of the principles that need to be addressed. They've got this mentality of people are inherently good. So because people are inherently good, everything that news agencies across the world, mainstream media, all these sorts of things, because people are inherently good, I can trust what they say. I can trust what they are busy talking about. And I think that is a very silly, naive way of looking at things. People can be swayed. People can be manipulative. People can lie. They've got the same policy, I suppose, because people are inherently good. It's okay for illegal aliens to come across into lands from other lands, because once again, those illegal aliens, they could be murderers, they could be drug dealers, they could be rapists, they could be involved in human trafficking. The thing is, they are inherently good, which means, they just need to adjust. The problem is they don't adjust. Illegal aliens, people that don't have a Western mindset, should you bring them into a Western culture, they don't adjust to the culture because they don't want to. They simply want all the trappings because they've seen on TV fancy Western buildings and fancy Western cars and fancy Western inventions and all of these kind of things. They want the trappings of Judeo-Christian Western civilization, yet they don't want to adopt the mentality of the Judeo-Christian mindset. And that is the problem.
And also, when we go voting in 2026, there could be, what I heard, it could be a Muslim party in South Africa.
And not the current one that's on the ballot.
Not the current one that's on the ballot.
This one's
ISIS.
Quite a bit more extreme, yes. But I suppose that is for another video.
Right. So thank you for actually taking time out.
And we'll see you in the next one.